Welcome to another Guide You Outdoors video. Join me and my dog Summit as we spend 3 nights on the Appalachian Trail. I will be taking a simple approach to camping and hiking that will show you how easy and refreshing it can be to hit the trail for a few days. We will meet through hikers who are hiking all 2,180 miles of the trail, which spans 14 states from Maine to Georgia. There is something so powerful in immersing yourself in nature. Every moment teems with new adventure and experience. And although it is undescribable by words, it speaks to my very core. I thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2008 and return every year to reconnect with both the trail and the hiking community. There is magic found with all you need on your back and your feet to carry you anywhere you want to go. The first person I come across is named Tumbleweed. He shares a story, and then we sit down for a beer.
My name's Tumbleweed. Started February 23rd. I'm northbound. I've made it to Cube Mountain in New Hampshire. A couple days ago, I was coming into New Hampshire, and the mosquitoes were so bad. This was around 4 o'clock. I was getting swarmed with mosquitoes, and I've never had these many mosquitoes on me at one time. So I decided to take out running, and I'm sprinting up the trail, just trying to escape these mosquitoes, because they're not bad, 1 or 2, but when you get 15 biting you at the same time, you just can't itch at all. And I was coming down a hill, and it kind of came up a little bit. And right when I came up over the hill, there was a bear in the trail, and I was more worried about the mosquitoes than I was the bear. So the bear stopped, and I noticed that he had as many mosquitoes around him as I did chasing me, and we just kind of looked at each other and was like, "This sucks," and I just ran right by him. The bear didn't even move, and that was kind of cool.
It's been fun.
Keep
Take
it
it
real.
easy.
Peace, love, and chicken grease, or whatever comes first.
All right.
Whatever that means.
Enjoy the journey, dude.
I appreciate it, man. That was some awesome trail magic. It really was.
Cool. All right.
Take it easy. See ya.
Trail magic is anything beneficial to a thru hiker. In the old days, it was a ride into town or a hot meal from a stranger, but it has grown into a huge phenomenon. These days, there is a community of what is known as trail angels who assist thru hikers all season. People like Patty O, who surprises thru hikers on back roads and makes a feast for them. And Miss Janet, who follows the herd of thru hikers north in her magic van, the Bounce Box, and gives rides to and from town. I reach the top of Mount Cube and decide to make camp at the next water source I find. Alright. So there's my tarp. Oh, what's that sound? Ready, going? I've tied the back to that tree. I'm just going to use the trucker's hitch now. We'll loop right here, so 2 twists, pull through, around the tree, through the loop, and now just pull tension, and this whole system will just come out when I pull it. Fold the tarp in half, and the crease at the top is your center ridge line. Tie the grommets that line up at the bottom together, and this will be your floor. The grommets between are your corners. Tie P-cord to these and pull out at 45-degree angles. There we go. That's our $30 tent with a tarp from the hardware store and P-cord from the hardware store. Easy. Now that I have shelter, I'm camped next to water. All I have to worry about is dinner. So I whittled this figure 4 trap. Let's set it up. Hope I catch something. There we go. Bait that little stick and hope I catch a critter. I caught something. Spanish rice. How convenient. I actually bought this at the gas station. Cream cheese, tortilla shells, Spanish rice. This was all spontaneous, and I want to make it easy. There's a campfire here, so I'm just gonna make a fire, cook over the fire, and have tacos. Hi. How's it going? You through hiker?
My name is Sloth. My real name is Evan. I started on the 24th of February, and I'm going north.
What's your best trail magic?
In New York there was a cooler of like, it was just stocked with like Red Bull and like milk and water and like little sausages and like this tray of like muffins and bananas, and just, that was really good. That was probably the best. I don't know, what about yourself? What'd you, when you were hiking, what'd you get?
I met this guy, Patio.
Oh, I've heard about him, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard about him. Tom Lavardi was telling me about him.
Nice.
Yeah. Man, I wouldn't trade that for anything though. Just the experience you share with other people.
Sloth cooks and eats his dinner, and I give him half of mine, trying to pay forward some of the good fortune I experienced while through hiking. We stay up late around Man's primitive TV, exchanging stories from our adventures. The next morning, we'll move on in our separate directions to meet others who may have something to share with us. It's time to do number 2. So here we are in the bathroom, the latrine, the privy of nature. And there's a couple ways to do this. New England's cool because we have this very fertile dirt, and a lot of times we can kick in with our heel and dig our own cat hole. And then check this out. Nature's toilet paper. This bush and also straight maple are your two best toilet papers out here. But I brought my toiletry kit. So I have a little shovel here to dig my latrine. And just go as deep as if you were cutting a bone you didn't want anyone to find. So also in here I have toilet paper and hand sanitizer. There's the tree hang. Crab. My personal fave I call the soccer coach or Apollo, where you kind of sit on your heel, lean out a little, stare off distant to the forest and contemplate deep thoughts of pooping. Alright, once the deed is done, bury it and mark it with an X, saying, "Don't dig here." So if you see one of these in the woods and you think, "Ooh, buried treasure," it's not. It's not treasure at all. Thanks for pooping with me. When entering these environments, we want to practice leave no trace mentality. This is done by disposing of your waste properly, packing out what you pack in, and leaving as little of an impact on your environment as possible. went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover I had not lived. Henry David Thoreau. The second night, I had arranged to meet my friend Scotty at Hexacuba Shelter in New Hampshire. We met a hiker named Clover there, who had been sketching our view for the night.
I love adventures. Get me going. Like, adventures are what I live off of. It's planning for and embarking on things that are going to be scary and things that are really difficult. And I always get really pumped up for them, and I learn so much through them every time. So, and I love to be in the woods. That's when I'm happiest. That's when I feel most connected to things. There's a certain truth that happens when you're in the woods. It's sort of, you can't really lie to yourself too much. Hopefully, if you're brave enough to face those things, I think it's good to. I guess the trail kind of offers both, like, the challenge, which I sought, a physical challenge, mental challenge, but also just a meditative place for me to think and to remember how to be alone, remember who I am, a lot of things. And even if you don't see it right now, everything is changing. The rocks over time, the river you can see it flowing, but the rocks and the trees and our lives are always flowing. And I think it ends with just like, I think the quote is like, and stars like globules in the pounding heart of our universe. And I was thinking about that today, about how I feel like hikers, I think about sometimes the bigger picture of these hikers, we're all kind of like blood cells in those arteries of our natural forests, and you kind of all have that place, and you meet each other, and there's moments that you're supposed to meet. And I've noticed that on trail you have those moments when paths do meet and they're supposed to meet, and there's just on trail and in the woods it's a simpler life, and so you can trust more in those things that are supposed to happen, instead of in city life where we feel everything's really overwhelming and it's hard to know what is meaningful. Everything feels strongly on trail and in the forest because you're really living, so all the highs are highs and lows are lows. So especially if I'm on my own, so when I'm feeling bummed out and sad, it's like depths, it's really hard, and you start to see really just dark places inside yourself. But when you're happy and when you're experiencing things, that's like the top of the mountain, literally, and inside you. It's not popular to do things alone in our society, and I think we should not be afraid of that. We're used to doing things in packs, but to know oneself is a very strong thing and very difficult. And any age you can learn more about how to be alone and be okay with that. And know how to rely on people and be happy with people, but also seeking out adventures on your own can be a wonderful thing.
Wow. What a beautiful forest. Just listen to the wind rip through those leaves. Got to me thinking about last night's conversation with Clover and her fears of being a woman on the trail. And I think what she got down to was that all our fears are in here. And this journey really exposes those and lets you conquer those by being out here alone. And meeting nice people like us who gave her a beer in exchange for a story. Well, I got 3 more miles to go to Smart's campsite. Check out the fire tower view. Pretty excited. I learned early that richness of life is found in adventure. Adventure calls on all faculties of mind and spirit. It develops self-reliance and independence. Life then teems with excitement, but man is not ready for adventure unless he is rid of fear, for fear confines him and limits his scope. He stays tethered by strings of doubt and indecision, and has only a small and narrow world to explore. William Douglas.
Going into this whole experience, being a woman, planning on doing it by myself, was not something that I was really thinking about. I wasn't that afraid. I think the biggest thing that I was afraid about was hitchhiking. A lot of people that I meet are like, "You're doing it alone? Aren't you afraid of the animals? Aren't you afraid to sleep alone at night?" And yeah, I'm not. Though I would say my biggest worry are the human animals.
More New Yorkers bite people each year than sharks.
What?
So then let's consider first of all, what is a mind in the grip of vicious circles? Well, one of the most obvious instances that we all know is the phenomenon of worry. The doctor tells you that you have to have an operation. And that has been set up so that automatically everybody worries about it. And therefore you get additionally worried that you are worrying, and therefore will not be in the right shape to be on the operating table. And then, furthermore, because that is quite absurd and you are mad at yourself because you do it, you are worried because you worry because you worry. That is a vicious circle. So there's a difficulty about stopping that activity. And you really have to stop it if you want to be sane. Because if I talk all the time, I don't hear what anyone else has to say. Or so in exactly the same way. If I think all the time, I won't have anything to think about except thoughts. But first of all, you have to learn how to stop thinking. Well, how do you do that? The first rule is don't try to. Because if you do, you will be like someone trying to make rough water smooth with a flat iron. And all that will do will stir it up. So, in the same way as a muddy, turbulent pool quiets itself when left alone, you have to know how to leave your mind alone. It will quiet itself. Can you allow your mind to be quiet?
Out here, away from all our modern distractions, it is easier to quiet the mind. Alan Watts went on to say, meditation is the art of suspending verbal and symbolic thinking for a time. Someone as a courteous audience will stop talking before a concert is about to begin. Immersing yourself in nature creates this space for self-awareness and self-realization. It is no wonder that many of our prophets secluded themselves in the woods before returning with knowledge that spread to the masses. Hiking, for me, is a continuous concert in self-discovery. This concludes another Guide You Outdoors video. As always, thanks for joining me, and if you like what you saw, subscribe to our channel.